Well, hello there. My name is Mark Miles, and I love helping trainers, presenters, workshop facilitators really take their results to the next level. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about a question I actually had from one of my coaching clients who asked, how do I deal with the situation when I've got a participant in the audience that you're presenting, or she was presenting, and she had a participant that was constantly talking to another person while she was presenting. And she was a little bit unsure as to how to handle this situation. And fair enough, because it can be very distracting if you're delivering content and things are happening in the audience that are disruptive or disrupting you or disrupting other people. And how do you deal with that? Because how do you, if you deal with it in the wrong way, it can go south very quickly. And if you deal with it in the wrong way, you can come across unprofessional and it can destroy the rapport that you actually have with the other members of the group and even with the members of the people that are being disruptive, so to speak. So in today's video, I want to give you 3 tips on how you can actually deal with it in a very professional manner so that you still maintain the rapport and keep everybody on track and keep the optimal flow of communication and delivery. So the first one I want to suggest, and definitely grab a pen and get ready to write. First one I want to suggest is that you set ground rules. Now, it's kind of an obvious one, and I've done another video on how to set ground rules really effectively, but you have to be setting ground rules at the very beginning of any workshop that you run. And one of the ground rules I highly recommend that you set is one person shares at a time. Now, in the online environment, this is even more critical because, as we all know, technology-wise, if two people are sharing at the same time, both people kind of muffle each other out. So you've got a very clear justification for setting that ground rule. But in the face-to-face environment, you've got to set it as well. And basically, it goes, yep. This morning, as we go through our session, one person shares at a time because, as we all know, if two people are sharing at the same time, we don't get to hear each person equally sharing. And we want to make sure that each person does get their opportunity to share their thoughts, ideas, and their opinions, right? But you want to set that ground rule. One person shares at a time, and that includes the trainer. Okay, so you want to include that as part of your ground rules. And if you want to check out on how to set out ground rules really effectively, check out that other video, and that'll be really cool. Next thing, though, we need to realize that any kind of disruptive behavior, any kind of thing that you need to intervene on, subtle is always more powerful than overt. Subtle is more powerful than overt. And what I mean by that is you need to be taking care of things on the unconscious level because as soon as you speak to it, you've kind of created an elephant in the room and you've kind of made it bigger than it needs to be. So my advice, my tip number 2, is if people constantly are talking or it is a bit of an issue or it even happens the first time, what I do recommend that you do, old teaching technique or tactic that you may have seen teachers do when you were growing up, is if you see two people talking, my advice, shut up and go silent. What I mean by that is if they're talking, you stop talking. You wait and you wait until they finish talking and then you continue. And basically by doing that, you're going to find that people realize that that's kind of what's accepted, right? And you're reinforcing the expectation that only one person shares at a time, right? So you set the ground rule, then later on, if people are talking, then you go quiet and you wait for them to stop talking. And generally, that's going to realign the expectation of the performance. Now, if after that continues, and you find people continue, even though you do the silent tactic, it still continues later on. You have to realize that at that time, the participant is making a conscious choice to actually talk while you are talking. And in that moment, what I would typically do is I do call it out, but I call it out in this way. Second or third time, would it be okay if we just had one person sharing at a time? Because my brain, I don't really do multitasking well, and I find it really hard to share content with you guys when other noises are going on. Would it be okay if you share those ideas and those concepts at the next break or even in the next segment where we wrap that up. All right. Would that be okay if you shared what you're sharing right now? Would you be okay sharing that a little bit later on? Because we've got some stuff that we need to get through. Okay. And normally calling it out like that gets people to go, all right, cool. I need to respect the environment and we've got stuff to do. So I'm going to buy into that. But if you take the approach of shut up, I'm talking, it's never going to go well. And you're going to break rapport with that participant and you're going to break rapport with the rest of the group as well. So let's recap. Number one, set the ground rules in the very beginning and get buy-in on that. Number two is do the silent tactic. Just go quiet. And the third one is call it out, but call it out in a way that actually benefits the entire group, you, and also the other person as well. And definitely respect their need, want, and desire to share and give them an opportunity to do that as well. But let them know that it's going to be in a time that's going to be respectful and is going to be suitable for the rest of the group as well. So on that note, just wanted to give you a tool, tactic, free tools, so to speak, on ways that you can handle it when other people are talking while you are delivering. Because I really find that a lot of people that are first starting out, really struggle with this. How do they own the space, so to speak? And even professionals been presenting for a while do occasionally struggle with this in the regards to how do you deal with it in the most respectful, caring, and compassionate way for your audience and the experience of your audience. Thanks so much for watching, team. We will see you on the next one. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, and get this content out there. On that note, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.